رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي. Recently, while I was offering Taraweeh, the Imam, he recited the verses in Surah Yusuf, where Surah Yusuf, Hazrat Yusuf, he was seduced by the women. And while he was reciting these verses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened something amazing to me that relates to our practical life today, and I wanted to share this with you. And so first I'll just put the verses in front of you so that you know what the verses are. In chapter 12, Surah Yusuf itself, from verse 23 and onwards, I'll read the translation. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. And she in whose house he was sought to seduce him, Yusuf alayhi salam. She closed the doors and said, "Come, you." He said, "I seek the refuge of Allah. Indeed, He is my master, who has made good my residence. Indeed, wrongdoers will not succeed." Then the next verse, and she certainly determined to seduce him, and he would have inclined to her, had he not seen the proof that is sign of his Lord. And thus it was that we should avert from him evil and immorality. Indeed, he was of our chosen servants. And then verse 25, and they both raced to the door, and she tore his shirt from the back, and they found her husband at the door. And the story continues. Now, the beautiful thing that I want to share with you that relates to our practical life today is, notice the character and the high, lofty character of Yusuf alayhi salam in the face of such a trial. Right? Allah is putting a practical example for us from history, a true example of a high character in the face of such a tough test. Allah is showing you, when you're faced with immorality, such a high character, what does he do? Number one, he runs away and he seeks to open doors, leave from that place, right? So this is the high character Allah is showing through a practical example that happened in history. SubhanAllah, He's putting this in front of us, and the Muslims should know this, right? However, today, in the age of, even today, the relevance that it has today with us, we have today the mobile phones, we have all the filthy, immoral, dirty content, pornography, whatever filthy content we have. And unfortunately, those Muslims who watch it, what do? They do exactly the opposite if they want to watch it. Instead of running away and opening the doors, they lock the door, and they, instead of running away from in this case the women, they go search for those women. Na'udhu billah. They search for those women. It's the exact opposite. Here, Allah is putting a practical example of somebody running away from the women and opening doors. And today, if a Muslim who wants to watch such content, he does exactly the opposite. Instead of running away and from the women and opening doors, he locks the door and goes searches for the women. SubhanAllah, you see, Allah in the Quran has given us a practical example of how a man of high character, of a man of true faith, a true believer in God, how he reacts to such tests. So this is what I want to show you, that Muslims must not just simply read the Quran, but rather read it with understanding, deep understanding, and connect it with their practical life. That's how we're going to unlock all these amazing blessings that the Quran has to offer us, right? If we merely recite them without any understanding, how will we unlock such blessings from the Quran? So may Allah open the Quran for us. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.